Millions of people are in a situation similar to mine. Very few know how to overcome it. It is the struggle. The who I am to be is a walk that is all my own. I want to bear it with you. Everyone loves a success story. Therefore, let us embrace the struggle together. This is Stand Down to Come Up.
So this is the origin or the pilot episode of Stand Down to Come Up. I got a couple of things that I want to go over, and most importantly, I want to say I thank y'all for coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, please follow the channel and my page. You can find me on TikTok at Conke369. Conke is CONKE 369. If you understand what the numbers mean, you know what I'm saying, you already more in tune than I even, you know what I'm saying, expected you to be. But you can also follow me at Instagram or IG at official_Conke. But yeah, for the pilot episode, we're gonna talk about the very first 2 weeks. So post incarceration. The very first 2 weeks post incarceration, they difficult, man. It's not something that people can just fathom if they ain't been through the situation. You know what I mean? When you locked up, a lot of people tend to believe that once you're free, okay, it's like it's up to you to make all the decisions and do the right thing, and like now it all depends on you and the choices that you make, and they don't understand how dictated the movements that you make really are. So just to give people who are oblivious to it, when you first get out of prison, the first thing you must accomplish, and you only have a time frame of 48 hours to do this, is to go to a place called JREC. Now, I'm not 100% sure what those acronyms stand for, J, R, E, and C, but JREC is a place where you have to go, and this only happens in certain states, like the Peninsula being one of them, where you have to go and register as a convicted felon. Now, if you don't accomplish this task in the first 48 hours, it's a violation, and you're automatically wrong, I can say. You know, this is automatically another charge, which will inevitably, I believe, hold up to 2 years in prison. So yeah, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? And the sad part about it is, after you register and do that, there's nothing else you have to do about that. Like, they knew you were a felon, but it's just a way to try to purposefully entrap you, in a sense. But just going over that, upon me going to JREC, my experience was terrible. It's one of the worst places I've ever had to visit. I went there, I thought I was having a good conversation. I got bamboozled out of my ID just so they can shred it in my face and tell me it was suspended. So I had to get a whole nother form of identification because I couldn't have a license, because a license would mean I would think it was okay to drive, though it was suspended, and they let me know that it was suspended, forcing me now have to purchase, fresh out of prison with no money, a new ID. Because if I don't have an ID, not being able to be identified as you're a felon is also a crime. It's a misdemeanor. So, with this being said, JREC, totally against it. I think it's trash, terrible. Somebody else may have a different viewpoint on it and how they see it. Me, don't like them. Don't fuck with them. Operation New Hope. Operation New Hope, phenomenal. I think their program is amazing. The fact that you can walk in same day, not only will you have a source of employment or a way to be employed, and they're going to guarantee it within a 14-day time span, they also will get you someplace to stay same day, like within that 24-hour time span. So when you walk in that day, before you leave that night, they can have you someplace you can rest your head with a key. And I don't know, if you ain't never been in a position where you ain't got no place to stay, or you live in place to place, when you get that key in your hand, it's a feeling of liberation. So Operation New Hope is definitely some place that I think is valuable. I think it's a very wonderful place. They actually said that Barack Obama and his administration came down here prior to the Biden administration, and they said that Operation New Hope, fuck J-Rick, Operation New Hope was maybe the best post-release program in the nation. You know, so anybody that you know that has anything going on, even if it's something minor like a DUI, or well, that's not really minor, but something that might be minor, jaywalking, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's a misdemeanor, you can still go to Operation New Hope and get so much help. They have so many resources, and they give out so many good things. You know, I can't really put a name on it because I didn't qualify for that. And I could honestly tell you the pain that I felt not being able to utilize that program after sitting there and hearing everything was a letdown. You know, it sent me into an emotional spiral. My depression got the best of me. I think my anxiety took control, and you know, at that point, a lot of people don't realize that when you are dealing with any type of mental illness or any type of mental depressions, anything that's cognitive that you can't see, that's not cognitive that you can't see, it's difficult on you. So when that happened, it sent me to emotional spiral. Like, I really was having suicidal thoughts, and it was difficult for me. Luckily, you know, I had a good support system. My grandmother just happened to come through at the right moment, the right time, and you know, it brought me back to ground zero. And that's a big thing that I think people look over, you know. But we're gonna resurface that in a little while after we hit all these key points, because well, no, we can hit it right now. Because when you talk about support systems, these are support systems, and I wasn't able to do Operation New Hope because of one of the charges that I accrued. But in my downward spiral, I was contacted by somebody, and they said, "Hey, man, you know, if everything else is not going as planned, you can always go to Goodwill." So, you know, after exhausting resources from Salvation Army, trying to call them, also, obviously JREC, blah, then Operation New Hope, you know what I'm saying, good program, obviously not for me because I can't attend. But I went to Goodwill, and Goodwill has a program known as the A-Step program, man. And they literally pay for everything that you want, everything that you need. I got put through CDL school. I got my forklift license, you know. But before I got all this, you know, they helped me get on my feet. They gave me vouchers. I got a gift card for Wawa, you know. And all this has happened in the first 14 days of me being out, you know. Not getting those licenses, but getting set up for classes in school, you know, and they're paying for everything. And I don't have to come out of pocket for nothing at all. All I have to do is show up and be present, you know, and make sure that I'm attending. And I think that's an amazing thing, because when you got a prison, you already follow a set schedule. So all they asking you to do is just follow a schedule. If you need help, let them know, and they'll give you money or bus passes and all sorts of other things to help you get you where you need to be at, so that you can do what you need to do so that you can be successful. And I think that's a very prominent thing. And my 4 years of incarceration, I've never heard anyone even bring up Goodwill. And to see that they have a program for felons and I know that they're a second chance company, it just hurts me to know that they're overlooked or not talked about, because they've done more for me than any other establishment that says they do something for felons, and they're very consistent and very good. And that brings me back to speaking on support systems. When you get out, your support systems are a big thing, you know what I mean? And this is just not for felons, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, this is stand down and come up. It's millions of people going through this, whether you're a felon or not. Support systems are a very big thing, you know, because the positive energy that comes with a good support system, it brings in blessings, because you understand gratitude and being grateful, and that positive energy breeds positive thought processes for you inside of your world, inside of your universe. But because of all the positive energy and the blessings that I received, you know, it allowed me to persevere in my journey. You know, those first 2 weeks out are difficult. And I don't think no one really views it the way someone would view it when they're coming from a point of incarceration. But even if, no matter what it was, if you lost your job, you know, the first 2 weeks after losing your job are difficult. Why? Because you're used to getting paid on a bi-weekly schedule. So if you lose your job and then 2 weeks later, when you're used to getting paid, that paycheck doesn't come in, it's a difficult time. It's hard for you. You understand what I'm saying? And one thing that they tell you about people that are post-incarceration is 80% or 82% of people return, you know, at least in this state, the state of Florida, but it's high everywhere. You know, they call it recidivism. The rate of return within the first 90 days is 82%, and that is crazy. It's crazy. And the reason that makes it more crazy is that the appeal rate in Florida is 92%. Now, if you don't know what an appeal is, let's say you're in an argument with somebody, right? And it's deemed that, hey, you say I'm right, and they say, no, I'm right. And the third party person says, you know what? They are right and you're wrong. And you say, you know what? I'm going to ask somebody who really knows what's going on or who has more authority than both of y'all. And when you go to them, the person looks at it and says, you know what? You are actually right and they are actually wrong. That's an appeal. And in the court systems, a lot of times you're judged. And when you're judged, everybody will say, oh, you did this and all, you know what I'm saying, just do better next time. But in all actuality, 92% of the times in the state of Florida, when you fight it and when they view it, they're the ones that are wrong. So 92% of the time, when somebody actually has the finances to pay for a lawyer or to get the actual help and support that they need and they pay for that, you find out that the state is actually wrong. And that's astounding. And I think that's a really big problem. So right now, what I encourage everyone to do is do their best on staying down, because, you know, when you're at the bottom, you can only do one thing, which is stand up. So we're going to stay down and we're going to keep coming up, you know. And what's very important for everybody who's going through a struggle or going through the struggle, because regardless, everybody got their own struggle. Even Boosie said that if you don't somebody struggle, you can't feel how they want to hustle, you know. But one thing that I learned to do in my struggle, I learned all the food bank schedules. Even if I don't need to go, sometimes I still will go and I will go grab free food. Why? Because if I don't use it, somebody else may need it or they may be able to use it. I also learned the bus route times. So that's one thing you might want to do, learn all your bus route times, get you a bicycle if you can't drive. You know, they took my license from me, they cut me, you feel me? But now I can't just lay down. I got to stand up and I got to keep doing what I have to do. And get a bike, you know what I'm saying? A bike save you a lot of time for real. If you take you an hour to get there, you get on the bike, it's gonna take you 15 minutes. Real fast. I ain't gonna lie. If anybody ever rode a bike, you know, walking is gonna cut walking to a fourth of the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's always a good thing. And just remember, on this journey of yours, when you're trying to stay down so that you can come up, man, don't ever let somebody tell you what you can or can't do, and also don't let nobody steer your path, because at the end of the day, when you at your lowest moment, your lowest point, you know, all praise be to Yahweh. When you at your lowest point, you know what's going on. Even if you don't like what's going on and it's hard for you, you don't know. No one knows your situation better than you know your situation. Don't ever let nobody stand up over you and tell you how you need to stay down. You know what I'm saying? You do what you got to do for you so that you can stand back up, because nobody else can help you find your feet. Real facts, real shit. So, I come in here today and I just encourage that everybody does their best and that everybody, you know, operates on I come here today and I tell you guys this because, you know, I care, you know, and I feel like if nobody else care, like somebody got to show somebody that they care. And sometimes just hearing somebody else say that they're going through something and they understand what you're going through can be a good mental push, you know. And I deal with mental issues, you understand? Like, I deal with psychosis. It's not easy for somebody to come out and tell you when they deal with mental issues, because at the end of the day, it's something you can't see. You understand what I'm saying? I have nephews who are autistic, you know what I'm saying? You can't see the problem. You look at them, they're beautiful boys, you understand what I'm saying? But you can't see the problem. But it's there. But you can see the problem, you get what I'm saying? But what do they do about it? You know what I'm saying? Because it's within them. It's in their head. You know, it's not like a eczema what's on my skin and I can treat it. You know, it's internal. And those problems are always difficult. You know what I'm saying? And especially in lifelong problems. So, you know, I always want to encourage people. I'm very, 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 very big on mental health. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody who take their mental health Mondays very seriously. I take mine very seriously, and I encourage y'all to do the same, man. And if nothing else, I love you. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all, again, please, y'all like, subscribe, and follow, man. And this is Stand Down to Come Up, man. Biggie the Conke out. Yo.